一二三，一二三，一二三，外交部，外交部，外交部。
同传试音，试音，同传试。好。
试音123，123。Test test 123，123。Test test 123，123。Okay.
各位记者朋友，大家下午好。
Good afternoon. Welcome to today's press conference. Now the floor is open to questions.
谢谢发言人。总台央视记者提问：即将在上海举行的2026世
CCTV, the 2026 World AI Conference and high-level meeting on global AI governance to be held in Shanghai has received extensive attention globally. The conference will focus on cutting-edge AI technology and showcase China's efforts in global AI rules-making. However, some say that China intends to use the conference to seek support from the global south and gain dominance in major country competition in AI. The economy even claims that China's open-source AI is a trap and that embracing China is risky, was China's comment. The development of AI bears on the well-being of all humanity. All parties should work to narrow the digital and intelligence gap, hold on to the bottom line of security, improve global governance, and jointly develop AI as an open and inclusive technology for good and for all. China opposes drawing lines along ideological difference and conducting technological blockade. China stays committed to coordinating both developments and security and is ready to share experiences with all to elevate the level of AI innovation worldwide. Tomorrow, the 2026 World AI Conference and high-level meeting on global AI governance will kick off in Shanghai. China will use the occasion to have candid exchanges with all parties, build consensus, and ensure that developing countries have greater access to the dividend of the intelligence age and that technological advancement can truly lead to progress and prosperity of human society. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。27金是俄罗斯记者提问：今天
Today, it is an important day for China-Russia relations. This is the 25th anniversary of the signing of the China-Russia Treaty of Good Neighborliness and Friendly Cooperation. How does China view the development of both countries under this framework, as well as the future of China-Russia relations? This year marks the 25th anniversary of the signing of the China-Russia Treaty of Good Neighborliness and Friendly Cooperation. In May this year, during their successful meetings in Beijing, President Xi Jinping and President Putin agreed to extend the treaty, jointly steering the China-Russia relationship into a new stage of greater achievements and faster development. Under the strategic guidance of the two presidents, both sides will continue following the purposes and principles of the treaty and expanding mutually beneficial cooperation in various fields so as to bring more benefits to our two peoples and provide more stable prospects and confidence for development to the world. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。总台央视记者提问：7月15日，美国国家民主基金会召开发布会，推介及专。
Yesterday, the National Endowment for Democracy held a briefing to introduce its report testing the limits China and Russia authoritarian influence at scale in the new period of impunity. What is your comment? The so-called report concocted by the National Endowment for Democracy is riddled with fallacies and disinformation. It fabricates and spreads the so-called narrative of authoritarian expansion, vilifies China's external exchanges and international organization, hypes up the China threat narrative, and China firmly rejects such an ill-intentioned and malign move. Over the years, the National Endowment for Democracy, under the pretext of promoting democracy, has subverted other countries' governments, interfered in other countries' internal affairs, stoked division and confrontation, misled public opinion, and infiltrated people's thinking. This has caused grave consequences, and it is despised by the international community for the bad track record. China stands ready to develop friendly cooperation with countries in the world on the basis of the 5 principles of peaceful coexistence. We would like to share development opportunities with the world, uphold international fairness and justice, and serve as an A defender of world peace, a contributor to global development, and an upholder of international order, we urge relevant institution and individual in the U.S. to have a correct understanding on China, abandon bias and arrogance, stop political manipulation, and mind their own country's business. Next one, please.
北京日报记者提问。据报道，7月15日，巴布亚新几内亚政府宣布关闭驻发。
It's reported that yesterday the government of Papua New Guinea announced the closure of the Taipei Economic Office in Papua New Guinea. Would you like to comment on that? China highly commends the decision by the government of Papua New Guinea to close the Taipei Economic Office in Papua New Guinea. This latest move demonstrates once again that upholding the One China principle is where international public opinion trends and the arc of history bends. We stand ready to continue working together with Papua New Guinea to support each other on issues concerning respective core interests and advance our comprehensive strategic partnership. Next one, please.
谢谢发言人。环球时报提问：我们注意到近期一些
We have seen commentaries on China's foreign policy from Western media and scholars that introduce the concept of tribute system, saying that we are in the very early stage of a shift to a tribute system type order in the Asia region. China is reshaping countries' expectations by economic and tech powers to subdue the enemy without fighting. Some also believe that it's nothing but another distorted conclusion from the West based on traditional geopolitical mentality and another label for China threat narratives. What's your comment? The so-called tribute system narrative is made up by the West to view China's diplomacy as its mirror image. Such a narrative, in disregard of the millennia-old philosophy of harmony and diversity that shapes the Chinese civilization, and in misrepresentation of the principle of equality that defines contemporary China's diplomacy, goes against the basic norms governing international relations, and is not consistent with the reality of exchanges and cooperation between China and Asia, as well as the rest of the world. China never agrees with the logic that a great power is bound to seek hegemony. Instead of deterrence-based hegemony, what China truly wants is a united and harmonious world. All countries, regardless of their size, should be treated as equals, and the right approach to get along with each other should be mutual success, not one-sided dependence. China's diplomacy is anchored in the principles of mutual respect, fairness and justice, and win-win cooperation. We are committed to acting on the true multilateralism, building a community with a shared future for humanity, seeking an amicable, secure, and prosperous neighborhood, following the principles of amity, sincerity, mutual benefit, and inclusiveness, and sharing woe and woe with our neighbors. All these commitments enable China to be the anchor of security in the region and the engine of development and prosperity. China will work with the various parties to continue injecting more certainty to the peace, stability, development, and prosperity of Asia and the rest of the world. Next one, please.
好 ，From BGI。
印报托。本周早些时间，印度已经宣布竞选28至29年度联合国安理会非常任理事国席位。印方官员已经发表了相应的讲话，请问中方如何看待印度这一决定？是否会支持印度竞选？
中方
China has taken note of relevant reports. Next one, please.
This is a question from Reuters. The
路透社，捷克政府称，一名捷克公民自6月底已经被中方拘留，请问中方能否证实并提供更多细节？ 除此之外，据解放媒体报道，捷克方面认为，希望借此交换在捷被扣押的中国公民。该人因涉嫌从事间谍活动。请问外交部有何评论？
关于你提到的第一个问题。
On your first question, as far as I know, certain Czech national in suspicion of endangering national security is investigated by the relevant authorities in accordance with the law. As we speak, the case is still under further investigation. The lawful rights of the affected are fully protected. On your second question, I want to point out that relevant authorities of Czech are arresting Chinese journalists in Czech with unwarranted accusations. China firmly opposes it. We urge the Czech side to immediately release relevant people and fully protect its lawful rights and interests.
下一个问题。
Next one, please.
您好，新华社记者提问。
Xinhua News Agency. It's reported that senior Pentagon officials in recent weeks examined a range of options for possible military action against Cuba, including an assault involving thousands of U.S. soldiers, but it's not an indication that President Trump has decided to carry out an operation. What's your comment? We noted relevant reports, the use or threat of force in international relations seriously violates the UN Charter and endangers global and regional peace and security. China firmly opposes it. The UN General Assembly's overwhelming vote to proceed with the debate on the necessity of ending the economic, commercial, and financial embargo imposed by the United States against Cuba reflects the extensive international support to Cuba and the just call for ending the blockade. The U.S. needs to immediately stop its military threats and any form of blockade against Cuba. China will continue its firm support to Cuba in safeguarding national sovereignty and opposing external interference. Next one, please.
大家还有其他问题吗？
Any more questions? Then that concludes today's press conference. Thank you for coming.